Right, we're going to do now the most complicated part of the model so far, using everything we learned so far to construct the head. Now, we are going to model half the head to start with, and then we're going to duplicate it and we're going to mirror it and make the other half. First things first, we need a sphere, okay? And with this sphere it's going to be positive and the standard 50 units from the floor, like so. Make it black, like that, okay? That's part one. Now we're going to duplicate that sphere. We're going to change the second one to be negative, and we're going to make it smaller. We're going to make it 18 on the X, Y, and Z, okay? And group that back together again. So far, simple. Now what we need to do here, we need to make this taller, okay? So this group, we're going to go into the attributes. We're going to leave the width the same, the X and Z. We're going to make the Y, the height, 40, okay? So we've made an ellipse, like we did when we made the leg part tip in tutorial 1, okay? The same shape, okay? Like that. Now because this is half the head, this will be the left hand side, I want an eye to be over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this, click on the outer sphere and Control D to replicate it. Move it across using the reposition tool on the X, like so. Just a bit there will do, and make that negative, okay? Group it all back together again. When you look at it now, you'll see you followed out the side and left a place where the eyeball can go. Everything so far is exactly the same as we've gone over. Now we're going to enter another part that I'm going to introduce you to. It's called intersecting. With this shape highlighted, we're going to Control D it to duplicate it, and we're going to move it out of the way like that, okay? We're not going to touch that one, we're going to use this one. Ungroup the shape like that, and the intersect that you just made to carve out that hollow in the side of that sphere there, click on it, click on that intersect, that negative. Go into attributes. As you can see, it's negative, and what we're going to do is go below it and turn it to an intersect, like so. Something we've not done before. Now the dotted lines are wider apart, and you can see the difference between them and that. Now when we group this back together again, something different happens. Unlike when you use a negative and a positive, the negative carves out the shape and leaves the rest of the boolean. When you intersect, the intersected part carves out and leaves everything it touches. So everything this side of that dotted line, so everything there and there, it will render. Everything else that it does not touch, it will not render, like that. Okay, it's a complete reverse of the negative, okay? You got that? How cool is that? Now, we want to change this to be a different color, so I'm going to go and change that to gold, right? So we have that. Now for the moment, that's all you need to do. Do not move this anymore, okay? Leave it where it is, right? Got that? Jolly good. Now we go back to the first shape here. We leave it grouped for the moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some extra bits into this to make it look prettier. Alright, we're going to intersect this. It's already intersected, but we're going to add more parts to intersect into it, okay? Now what we need to do is go to create, and normally I would use one of these which is already pre-made. It's a pre-sized cylinder. Now later versions of Bryce don't have that, so we won't be using that. We'll use what you have, which is a cylinder, okay? So I've just clicked on the cylinder, it's down there, and I'm going to use the Y to bring it up so we can see it, okay? It's too big. I need it to look like a cylinder, so I'm going to bring the X and the Z, the width and the depth, in a lot. I'm going to make it 3 on the X and Z, but leave the height the same, okay? Like that. We're also going to make this negative. So we have a negative tube or cylinder. I want this now to face me, so this bit, the top, is I'm looking directly at it. So we need to rotate it towards me, right? Yeah. So I know that rotating that towards me will be the X. Okay. So we go into attributes, we go to rotate on X, and we type in 90. And there we have it. It's now in the right position. Okay. Now, keeping everything simple, I'm going to lower its position down, the Y, to 50, so it becomes dead center of this boolean that we've made. Okay, and now it will look like that. You got that? Okay, simple. Yep. Now we're going to replicate this and go up. Okay, we're going to raise it in increments of 5. So I'm going to press Ctrl D, go into my attributes, go to Y and raise it. So I need to make it 55. Click on OK. Now we have 2. Yep, 1 5 higher than one before. Click on it again, Ctrl D. Now we want to make it 60. 55 plus 5 is 60, and so on and so forth. Control D again, and that wants to be 65. Okay, and I think that will do it. Yep. Okay, so it'll look like that. Doesn't matter if it's sticking out, you got to remember this is going to be intersected, so you won't see these, you'll just see the holes it's made through that boolean. Alright. Now I want to concentrate on the bottom part of here, so I'm going to grab a cube. Okay, standard size cube. We'll go into its attributes and we're going to raise it up, and I'm going to raise it up 35 units. Okay, I'll have a look at that and see what that looks like. That'll do. Okay, so we have it dead center but 35 off the ground. This as well needs to be negative. Right, so we've done that. Now I want it to be thinner on the X. Okay, so we go into X and we're going to type in the number 1, like so. So we have something that looks like that. Got it? So now we're going to replicate this going across that way to the right. So while it's highlighted, Control D, go to attributes. So we go to attributes and we're going to move that across to 2, like so. Okay. Right. Thank you. Press Ctrl D again. Attributes. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So we're going to move that across 4. Okay. Do it one more time. Ctrl D. Attributes. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Okay. So we've made 4 of those across the bottom there. See that? Got it. Now what we need to do, we need to highlight everything we just done, those 4 cylinders and those 4 cubes and our original shape, and ungroup everything and group everything now back together again. So now we end up with that. Everything's been carved out of that initial shape. See? Easy. Now we can go back to this that we left over there all by itself for a while, and we're going to move that back using X so it lines up again. Okay, so it just lines up as best as you can. This is always tricky to line everything up exactly, but there you go. And then when you render it out now, you end up with that. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to group this together. Okay, so it becomes one complete unit. Now I'm going to rotate it to the left. So we look at the shape and realise Z is facing us, so we have to rotate it on the Z axis. So we just turn it a little bit like that, which is minus 435 degrees. Control D to copy the whole lot, and I'm going to flip that X across and move that over and just position it so it looks good to the eye, so to speak. And to me that looks okay. Okay, you see that? Like that. Now we'll group those two back together again. Group. We go to attributes and then we can center it up. Don't worry about the height so much. If you really want to, you can put it back to 50. So 0, 0, 50 and 0. That puts it right back in the middle of the Bryce arena, and then you have a head. Okay. Yes, it's hollow, I know, but I'm just giving you the idea here on how to do this. Right. So we have a hollow head, a bit like me. So what we're going to do, we'll save that as head, head 1. Okay, remember to save. And then the next part we're going to discuss will be the back, the abdomen. And once that's done, we're going to bring all the parts together and construct the model in its entirety. Okay. So from me to you, thanks for watching. Hope that's okay. Check out my Facebook page. If you've got any questions, drop me a line. Until then, speak to you soon. Bye for now.